building. That's where he was at. That's where we found him.
He was sitting in that blue chair?
Right around the corner.
Here, I'll get out of your way. You're so lucky.
He stopped by a ladder ticket on the way to the hospital. See it?
This chair?
That's where he was at.
No way. That is crazy, and it didn't hurt him?
Well, he got hurt a little bit, but not his leg. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's just like impossible. That's such a blessing. I mean, that guy...
Yeah, seriously, pick what spot to be in this room.
There's nowhere in this room you could be. Except for in that chair and not get killed. That is amazing. He would have been just... This is so scary. Yeah, and this guy's been complaining about this tree this whole time. Kind of not really fighting with the neighbor, but asking the neighbor to do stuff about it. And I went over and talked to him. He couldn't afford. All right, so if you're in my area, the Pacific Northwest, Portland area, you might have seen this tree on a video on the news where this tree completely obliterated the house. And this is the other side over here, and some of the stuff we drug out of the neighbor's area. And then this tree is huge as far as it had been topped in the past, like a long time ago, say 40 years ago. And it candelabraed into like 20 really decent sized mini trees, so to speak. And you can see up in here, this is toward the end, or the tips of the branches here. And these are about a foot in diameter. And there's 5 or 6 of them piled up right there. Got some of the disaster that happened. But the tree itself is pretty good size. And you can tell by this root wad, it's taller than the house. And that's just what broke free. So this thing is a monster beast. And I'm gonna see if I can get you guys up in there. I'm pretty sure it's stable enough. We haven't removed any weight from the back side. Give me 1 second. All right, so I climbed up on this man, dog. And you can see just how big that root system is. And it just is huge. The tree itself at the base is probably 50 inches or more across. And then I'm walking across into the house to give you kind of an upper vision of what this looks like. So yeah, this thing is just huge. So we're gonna have to crane out all these pieces way down in here because there's really no way to walk them out. We'll get everything we can as far as branches and work everything out. I mean, even up in there, those are huge pieces. The chimney is completely obliterated. So I picked up a masonry saw in case we're gonna need it to work around some of these things, you know, to cut things free and move stuff. But yeah, that's all the chimney right there. That's all the masonry. I mean, this is the guy's living room. And in the video I'll put a link to, that's the chair the guy was sitting in when all this happened. And he was just, you know, 5 feet away from something this big. And this is right across there. It's probably 40 inches. That was right at where it was topped at. And then it had all these candelabras coming off, all these new adventitious buds deciding they wanted to be apical dominant. Apical dominance! Anyway, don't top trees. It's a terrible idea. And if you're gonna top them, maintenance them enough that you don't have something like this happen. This tree was so overweighted on top, and then the saturation in the soil from a wet snowstorm on top of a big rain caused all this. I wish you could get the gravity in a video. You just can't. But I mean, this thing sticks up higher than this one little house. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so we're gonna get in here. Guys already started. The trick to this is we're gonna start at the ends and work out all the weight. So we're gonna take all the weight, throw it off the roof, clean as we go so our footing is safe and secure, because you know these ponderosa pines, they've got a very slippery needle. So if you leave all this on the roof, even though the roof has good traction, you step on these, you're gonna slip out. So it's really smart to take all that stuff off of there, and we're gonna have a hard time craning this out in a way that keeps it from doing any more damage. But the house is total. It's not. They're not going to do anything with this. You know, this entire floor and the basement underneath has to be replaced. They might salvage some of the garage and some of these other areas, but the structural damage alone, you can't just put stuff over the top of that. And the fireplace, that's it right there underneath, totally just obliterated. Well, I'm gonna get down off of here and quit goofing off and get some work done, and we'll check in, let you know how things are going. I'll click a link to that. I made a short of it when I first arrived on scene. And this is the thing, so I'm gonna try and climb out here. Insurance companies, I should have my chin strap, so don't be mad at me. But insurance companies should be taking care of this stuff a lot faster. You know what I mean? Like, literally, they let this sit like this for probably 3 weeks without doing anything about it. And that's just stupid. Like, they could have solved all this. I was here 30 minutes after the tree, or after they noticed the tree had fallen. And we could have just got started on it right away. I didn't have any emergency calls before this one. And we would have been on it. And, you know, that's what could have happened. But insurance companies, shame on you guys. Shame on you guys. But I am glad they didn't go with the first bid they got, because they got a guy who gave a bid before me, and his bid was for $17,000 to take this tree off, which I could see how somebody would charge that, but it's still ridiculous. You know, this is a $10,000, $11,000 job. It's not a $17,000 job. You know what I mean? So we'll get back to work. I'll keep you guys checked in on this disaster, and we'll see how everything goes. Woo, it's windy. I'll try to block off the wind for you, but you can see that's the tree all through here. It's just buried down into the house. And then what we've done so far is we cleaned it up off of that other place, cleaned everything back to here, and now we're getting into some spots where there's no structural stability underneath you, and we've got to pick these ones out. So they're not very big, and to save some money, we'll probably pick them with a bucket truck, because if you're picking under 200 pounds, you don't have a problem. But if you pick, especially if you got a jib hoist on your bucket boom, but if you pick with a crane, typically they charge in this area around $450 an hour. So if you're not really wanting to spend $450 an hour, then it could be worth it, because a good 2 hours of that is them getting here and setting up. But we can back a bucket truck right up in the yard, and then we can lift out, good, probably 8 or 9 foot pieces of some of this. Some a little bit shorter, but we'll just work it out as we go. And once we get back into here, we're going to be real careful. That thing might stand up right about where the fence is, I guess, but it's likely going to stand back up at some point. It's big, but we'll just keep working it, getting everything we can. We've already got one full load of the truck, and that's just a 10-yard truck. And then we'll probably have another full load at least. So probably 2 full loads out of this one tree, because there's a lot back here that we can't get to until we get done with some of the picking. But tomorrow we'll be here in the morning. We'll do some picking with a bucket truck, and I'll get you guys posted on that. All right. Another view of the disaster, different perspective. There's a lot of holes everywhere, all through the roof on the backside, all through here. That thing was laying, there's a bunch of holes right here. Quite a few branches came through, and that thing went all the way to their porch over there. It was a big ponderosa. Dang. We got a lot of cleanup to do. hoist on the PGE truck to pick these up and drop them down. Hey, we just hit that wire. Did it go all the way across the street? Yeah, grab it, be really careful of the street, and tuck it in over behind their bush. Yeah, we just hit a wire. We knew we were gonna hit it, but they're so thin and black, we should have set it aside already. So this jib hoist has like a couple 1,000-pound capacity. So this is pine, pretty light wood. We're just going to take some small little picks. It's going to take longer than with a crane, but it's just going to work a lot better for us because we have a limited amount of space. The big crane couldn't get in here anyway. It's all muddy right through here. Get everybody clear. This is going to bring some construction debris with it. It's going to, it might swing a little bit. Let's make sure he's clear. It's got a 2x4 hanging, so be careful, guys. Yeah, these jib hoists are made to lift telephone poles so they can handle quite a bit of weight. And they're over-engineered is typically how it works, which is good, but you never want to push it. That was a big piece. Just under there is the infamous blue chair. I don't know if you can see it. We got a lot of this picked out so far. We're going to work on this chunk down here. I'm going to grab some spurs so I can utilize this wood to get down in here. There's no real access. The entire room is collapsed all the way around. And coming in from any other way, you put yourself in a dangerous position. So we're going to do it all from the top. It's a good sized piece. That was right over the little blue chair. I can see just the leg of it right now. I want to pick that little chair out of here. I think that'd be pretty cool. The super chair. Got Doug up there. Good job, guys. It's a big piece of wood. We're down to where the only thing holding it is the wall. And we've got this thing just super candelabra. But we'll see what happens. We'll get another pick on this guy. That tong to tong tong tong. Yeah, we need this because we can't get underneath this bad boy. Okay, cycle up. Lift. Gonna get some space on this boy. Some bark could let loose. Right there, hold it, hold it. I'll get a piece of wood underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, we were able to do it all good. It's still off in the front yard. It'd be hard to get it.
This is the last limb pick, and then we'll work out the next bits. Here's that infamous chair the guy was sitting in. Oh, he was so close to having this whole bit just on top of him. It ended up falling a little bit later, but he was sitting in that chair right there. It's crazy. Well, all right, this is the aftermath. Chainsaws on the counter. Move a little bit of the wall to get where we need to go. Looks like we got her now. Now we can get in here to this piece.
Like that?
Yep, it was all on top. All right, so this is Shorty with Doug Lights and Affordable Arbor Care. He ran the bucket truck most of the day. He was doing all the picks. So I was a little worried and a little bit hesitant about this cut right here. And he said, no, it'll work. And I was up on top. He jumped down, grabbed his saw, came over, and he makes this cut. And watch him as it's falling. He walks away from it as it's falling behind him, and he gives me a nice little look in the camera like, see, I told you. Okay, and this post, man, it righted itself just 3 more pieces after you saw what Shorty just did off with the part on the wall, and it righted itself. It's a 30-foot post. It's just amazing. And really unfortunately, right after that, we were trying to get this little piece that was still stuck to the wall up, and we broke the jib hoist. It's actually made of fiberglass, which is really strange because the end of it was steel. We thought for sure it was a steel jib, but it wasn't. Anyway, the guys were nice enough to help us by throwing a rope on the truck and dragging that piece off the wall through a pulley on the base of the tree we're removing. And that's it. That's the big, nasty tree of the year so far. Welcome to January.